About 5:20 almost. Sorry, deleting a couple posts. And I have two blog posts up. I have one I wrote this morning, which is based upon early spring, which it is, by the way. Spring meteorologically begins March 1st. Astronomically, it begins on March 19th this year. That's the equinox. One is based upon, the first is based upon weather trends, and the other, and the Gregorian calendar, by the way, and astronomical spring is based upon the alignment of stars and the Earth in relation to its travel around the sun. So we could say both. I like the early spring of March, although this year we got that extra day of winter because it was leap year. But I also love knowing that things are based upon the relationship of the planet to the sun, that it is in accordance to universal patterns. So, anyway, I wrote about early spring this morning because it has rained every day since the end of February, it seems. But I also have something that's been on my mind that I wrote way back in June, actually June 29th, so almost July, and it's about mushrooms. And several times in the past 2 or 3 days, the conversation during the live afternoon session, the topic of mushrooms has come up, and I thought that I would read it. But I don't know which one, so I thought I'd wait for either inspiration of which one to read, or if anyone popped in and said, hey, I really want you to read about mushrooms. These are not the psychedelic, the hallucinogen mushrooms. These are just the mushrooms that pop up after a rainy afternoon, after a summer storm. I absolutely love the way they just spontaneously appear out of nowhere from a storm. So, I don't know. I'm torn. Let's read today's blog. Since it's early spring, again, our friend Odom is here. Meteorologically, it's considered spring, March 1st. So we're actually in our first week of spring. So I'll read that one. And we'll come back to reading about mushrooms and summertime and summer storms at a later date. Maybe before summer, maybe not. Again, I just love how mushrooms appear after a summer storm. They literally flower out of nowhere. The mushrooms themselves exist all the time, but the cap that we see is the flowering of the fungi which resides underground. So they're actually really, really fascinating. But every aspect of nature, every aspect of plants and animals, the sky, the air, all of it is absolutely miraculous when we view it with the right mindset, with the right eyes. Speaking of which, my friend Odom knows how to see plants. He knows how to see the earth. To me, it really is a gift. I think you can only appreciate plants and the earth if you're in touch with God. You're in touch with the gift that we've been given. Odom says, thought about growing mushrooms, and they pop up in the garden all the time because of the wood chips and organic matter. Yeah, that makes sense. So now you got me thinking I should read the mushroom post again, but let me stick with the early spring rain is what it's called. And this was written this morning as I was about a little bit before I was about to head out for my earliest morning walk, which is when it's still dark, at least for another week. or at least for a few more days, actually. And it was raining, and I knew I was going out to walk briskly in the rain. So here it goes. I will attempt to read slow so that I make some sense. It's been a rainy season so far, being the first week of March and what's considered the meteorological start of spring. Tradition holds that this month comes in harsh and leaves winter in its wake, leading us to more pleasant days of April. But I find that I don't mind this cold rain, especially on my earliest morning walks, with so few daring to make it outside beyond a quick dash to their car for their commute to work. The world along the wooded paths of my neighborhood are completely mine. Solitary excursions in early spring rain. It's a gift from nature. This winter has been quite different for me. There's been a lightness in regard to the weather that I've never experienced before, as if a long-held mood since childhood has suddenly been lifted, and I'm completely free of its hold. Of course, my preference is still towards the warmer days of late spring and summer, but it seems that I've grown into some lighter nature, accepting just what the day brings without descending into darkness. Why and how this has happened, I cannot truly say. Perhaps the near lifetime of yoga and meditation practice has altered my response in some neurological way. My brain producing the right hormones now just to keep me even keeled. Or it could be age and a growing sense that every day is, and has always been, a gift from nature, each one to be cherished in its own way. What I find is that I love my solitary excursions in early spring rain. Raindrops that hold just a touch of an icy feel, gusts of wind that chill past every layer of clothes, and that it's these conditions that grant me this occasion. I think at a certain point in life, for some maybe sooner than my middle years, our appreciation deepens past the point of personal preference, and we discover the gift of every day, no matter what it offers, or maybe more truly, for exactly what it's giving. Perhaps the only thing that's really changed is my willingness to receive. So that was today's post. We'll go over it again. It's slow. Odom says, rain is essential of life. It is. Brad Dazzle is here. What awesome support. I appreciate it. Yeah, as a grower, I know you have a deep appreciation for rain as well as sunlight. Puts you in a really unique position of being able to. It also shows the relativity of things. That loving rain doesn't mean you dislike the sun. Loving the sun doesn't mean you dislike the rain. Both are offering you something. Both are important. And truly, as I said at the beginning, I don't mind this cold rain because it gives me the solitary experience of morning that I absolutely love. It keeps others away, others who aren't quite so committed to experiencing nature in what it gives. That, and as I mentioned here at the end, at a certain point in life, our personal preferences aren't the only thing that we appreciate. We are less demanding. Nate says, are we doing magic tricks here? In a way, I guess you could say. It's all pretty much magic. Odom says, yes, love rain, don't like the fungus it brings to my apple and pear trees. Yeah, it seems that every blessing, there is something that comes along to remind us to be careful what we wish for, be careful what we pray for, that everything comes with some type of karmic price. Not necessarily bad. Again, it's all relative. That when the fungus in its own way, Nate says, can you teach me how to read, count cards? I actually can't. You know what? Um, I'm horrible with cards, playing cards. I know how to play solitaire, and I think that's it. I honestly think, and it's weird, my whole family played cards, and almost all the time, there was always a card game going on, it seemed, in my family, and they had never picked it up. It is what it is. Lewis here says, I hate the rain, Odom. That's because you're from California, or you're in California. Oh, tired of it. Yeah, I guess it's been raining quite a bit for you. As I mentioned in what I read, I've really grown to appreciate it quite a bit. I did my first 2 100-mile races in rainstorms. Nate says cards bring people together. That's a really good point, and I agree, because I have such fond memories of my parents and aunt and uncle, my grandparents, all playing cards. Odom says it's been raining a lot here too. It's rained every day, I think, for 2 weeks. Some days a steady rain all through. Other days it'll be clear in the morning and then rain in the afternoon, or the other way around. But every day, which had me writing about rain. But again, it's given me that gift of a solitary excursion into my neighborhood woods. I get the paths completely to myself. And you know what? If someone else wandered by in the rain, I would offer them a smile, share my solitary experience for just a moment, and then go on my way. Because anyone else who is committed enough to head out the door at 4:30, 4:45 in the morning to walk in a downpour has my deep appreciation and respect. This is someone who loves those solitary mornings as much as I do. So in that way, we're connected, we're joined. Lewis says, we got a lot of rain already. I'm ready for the heat. Yeah. June is my favorite month by far. But as I mentioned here in the end, that I'll just read the whole bottom part. I think at a certain point in life, for some maybe sooner than my middle years, our appreciation deepens past the point of personal preference, and we discover the gift of every day, no matter what it offers, or maybe more truly, for exactly what it's giving. Perhaps the only thing that's really changed is my willingness to receive. And that's been a huge shift for me. That's been my shift out of a lifelong depression. Not as bad as so many people that I know, but ever present, deepening in winter, deepening in bad weather. But at this point in my life, and I can't really say why. Maybe it's because a lifetime of yoga and meditation, breath work. Maybe it's being older. You know what? Let's just say it's grace. Because grace is unexplainable and doesn't need an explanation. You just accept it. And that's the thing that changed, is I still have my personal preference, but I don't have to demand it. My life has become less demanding. I can smile at things that a few years ago would have, at the very least, annoyed me. And that's my willingness to receive. And the only thing we receive, the only thing all of us ever receive from moment to moment to moment is life. We are always receiving life. And yet, when we have those personal preferences, we're telling life, not this, maybe a little more of this, but not this, definitely not that. Man, I don't want any more of that. There's nothing the matter with personal preferences. But you know what? There's such a feeling of peace when I am willing to receive what life gives me, whatever it is. And that doesn't necessarily mean that I like it. It just means that I'm willing to receive it. I'm not fighting the present moment. That's been big. Our friend Destiny is here. Hey, Destiny. So next time I'm going to read about mushrooms. Or I've been wanting to read, I wrote this again about a year ago, on elephant's feet. I'm absolutely amazed. The largest land mammal has feet so sensitive that it can sense the vibration of rain several miles away. Definitely remind me to read that one. What I like about writing things like that and of mushrooms and other things, even if my writing suffers, at least writing about something incredibly interesting. The fact that elephants are such amazing creatures. And it floored me when I discovered that those extremely large feet have the sensitivity. They can actually walk through a sleeping encampment of humans, of people, trained hunters, and no one even know, no one being aware. Destiny says, blessings and love to everyone. I pray that you're all having a marvelous day. Thank you. And I agree. I'm sending out blessings to everyone as well. So with that, guys, I'm actually going live on Instagram in just a little bit. One day I'm going to get all my virtual worlds to be a little more seamless and not have an Instagram and a YouTube and a Facebook, and it'll just be one virtual media outing. Click a button and I'm there. Click a button and we're all there. This amazing thing about technology, I think, is that it's a foreshadowing of the spiritual connection that we're all forging. You guys, tomorrow, if you join me live tomorrow, let me know what you think. Is our technological advancement a foreshadowing of the spiritual connection? Mabel's vlog is here with a miso. Thank you. And Chris, well, I'm getting all of my favorite people here. Appreciate you guys stopping by. I feel bad because I'm calling it a night. I feel like I should read something else again. But the objective is to keep the evening sessions short, under 20 minutes. Mabel's vlog says support from Chris Lopez. Really appreciate that so much. Chris, hello, how are you? Definitely does my heart good to see my friends pop in. Destiny says that she is the heat. I bring the fire to earth to help people flourish and grow. I agree, actually, 100%. Destiny is a light that shines in everyone she comes in contact with. And it is a true blessing. So, guys, sorry. We're going to call it a night. Thanks. If you didn't hear me read, give it a listen again if you want. Again, it was about springtime and rain and the shift that comes, maybe through age, maybe through yoga and meditation and breath work. But as I said earlier, I think it comes with grace. Who knows why? You don't question grace, you just receive it. That's it, guys. Take care.